So, welcome everybody to our monthly webinar series. Today, we're going to be going over just customizing your pages and adding images and just how to make your page more customizable for your location or group. So, why should you customize your page? So, there are a lot of great reasons of why you should customize your page. So, it will show your sponsors what you are doing locally. You can also highlight your page with your local veterans. You can notify people of upcoming fundraising events or location events. You can provide information to volunteers looking to volunteer for your ceremony. And another great reason to customize your page is because it will also help to inspire your local community to get involved in honoring and remembering your hometown heroes. This is a nice way to show sponsors how your group is giving back and doing good. Now, how do you customize your page? So the first step would be to log into your dashboard. If you do not have an account for the dashboard, please reach out to your liaison to walk you through creating an account. Once you are logged in, you will go to the customization to-dos module. When you get there, it will open up a new box with your list of to-do items. This list will show you all of the areas that you can customize on your page, and you just want to click on the section that you want to edit. Once you're in your to-dos, the first one that you're going to see is the overview page, the banner, title, and subtitle for your page. This is where you can update the banner photo, like this photo right here, the title, and the subtitle for your page. You do want to make sure that you pay extra close attention to these wildcards. And that's anything that's inside of those brackets. The wildcards automatically pull information from the system to put on your page. So make sure you don't touch those. If you do change the wildcards, your page will not format correctly. So just remember to not change them. The ceremony information that you see here will be updated according to the ceremony information entered by the location coordinator. The information in this area should remain short and highlight the page, such as the ceremony date and time to arrive and any important information. This will be the first thing someone sees when they come to your page. So too much text in this section can cause an overlap on the page. Another thing you're going to see here is the logo. The logo is a great way to just highlight your organization that you're working with. The logo is where you will upload a logo for your location or group. So you will select the logo that you wish to upload from your image library. And when you upload images, the image may not always appear immediately. If that happens, you'll just have to reprocess the image within your image library. We will talk about the tips for fixing those broken images in just a few slides.
And if you do take your wild cards out, just call your liaison. We can help you put them back in, because I know a lot of people do, and then they get nervous that they've already taken it out, but we can fix it. You just got to let us know.
And then also the next, when you're in your customization, is that the next to-do item you're going to see is your card photo. So your card photo is where you can upload a photo and text to show the card for your page. These cards show up on the group sites that support your location or on the location pages that your group supports. The information here should also be short and informative, and invite them to view your page for further information about your group or location. Customized cards are more likely to be clicked on than those that are not. But please note that if you are a group that supports multiple locations, it is very important that you edit the text in your card summary to indicate that. By default, the group card will only show your main location. So you just want to make sure you edit it to just say that your group supports multiple locations. This is also a great place to upload an image that will catch their eye. To do that, you will choose an image from your image library. Uploading photos and editing text is set up the same way as the banners, subtitles, and logos. So we won't go into those. We won't go into the specifics of those. But as always, if you run into any kind of trouble, just reach out to your liaison for help, and we're always happy to help. The next do item you're going to see is the location summary text. And that's this area right here. So that is where you're going to put more detailed information regarding the cemetery in the ceremony. It's nice to note here any specific information regarding the ceremony, the history of your cemetery or group, why you are personally involved as a volunteer for Wreaths Across America, or any other important details about the event. As you can see here, the location has added specific contact information as well as provided a link to their Facebook page so that people can connect that way as well. These 3 sections that you see below will only be seen by location coordinators. These to-dos are how you edit the information that shows under the ceremony details of your location page. The first one is the ceremony volunteer information tab. This is where you can put specific information regarding your ceremony. It is especially helpful to indicate any details about the ceremony and wreath laying that you want volunteers to be aware of. If you need them to arrive at the cemetery at a certain time, or if you have parking restrictions or public transportation that they should be aware of, or if there are specific details that would help them with planning, this is the perfect place to add that information. Remember, your volunteers are there to help you, so the more information you can give them, the more smoothly your event will be. The next one you're going to see is the directions to the cemetery. This is where you can put the directions to the cemetery. It is especially nice to add this if the cemetery is off the beaten path and is hard to locate on the GPS. This will make it easier to navigate volunteers to the event. The next one you're going to see is the parking instructions tab. This is where you will add any specific information regarding the parking arrangements for your event. If you're having volunteers park at a local firehouse due to limited parking at the cemetery and are having a shuttle bring them over, this is where you would indicate that. Or if they need to park in a certain area of the cemetery, you would give them those details here.
Where'd she go?
And now let's go over how to upload pictures. So we're going to start by going to when you're in your managed pages, going to the libraries tab up here and clicking on the images. When this page opens, you're going to want to click on this black plus sign in the lower right hand corner, and then click on where it says select file in the gray area and upload whatever picture you would like from your computer. Please note that you cannot add more than 1 photo at a time, so go ahead and individually upload each photo that you like on your website.
Rachel, can I ask, does it matter what size your photos are?
Julie?
No.
Okay.
No, any photo should be able to use. Sometimes the portrait works a little better in some of the areas. I sometimes some photos just don't want to upload, and that's when I call Rachel.
I was gonna say, 'cause that's what happens to me all the time. I didn't know if it was me, and I just call Rachel, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, typically like it's the banner photo on like the subtitles. I always say it works best like it's like a Facebook cover photo. So like landscape pictures work best. Is it landscape? Yeah, the one that's like wide work the best. If you ever have one doesn't upload, just like reach out to your liaison because we have a way where we can put it into like a software editing where we can make the picture so it will fit on your page for you. And when you do upload a photo, if it shows up like this square right here and the picture isn't showing how it should be, all you want to do is hover over that photo and click on these 3 dots. And then go ahead and click on reprocess image. It might take a second for it to reprocess, but it should show up looking correctly like this. If you still aren't able to get it to upload and show correctly, just reach out to us and we will work with you to get that picture uploaded and shown correctly for you. And before I go to the next slides, anybody have any questions about the customization piece on this or anything?
So Cookie just asked if photos were taking on her cell phones, how do they upload those to the page? So Cookie, if you have the, you can actually open it on your phone. I have an iPhone and it's super easy to do it right from your phone. And you can just go through your customizations to do just like as if you were on your computer or in your photos, and you can add them right from your phone. You can also, of course, upload your photos to the computer and do it that way. If you run into any trouble with that, you can always reach out to your liaison and you can send it to them and ask them to help you get those posted, and they can do that as well.
I found that it's always easier if you have a bunch of photos to do those first, so that when you're doing any customization on your page, you've already uploaded the photos that you want to see on your page. That way, when you go to do the steps you can just select a photo and you're not having to add and buffer and wait through that process for it to go through. So if you have the ability to take the time to, if you have some great images from last year that you want to see added, maybe take some time and get all your photos added first and then go do the rest of the customizations. At least that's just me personally, because I tend to get stuck if I have to buffer, if I have to wait for them to process or whatever.
Yeah, it does always work a little bit better to kind of add them all into the album first. That way you're not having to do them one by one.
Yeah.
Something else to also keep in mind is that whenever you make any changes to your pages, there is kind of a 5-minute delay before it's going to show live. So if you're putting something and you're like getting frustrated because you're going to your page to see what it looks like and it's not showing, give it a few minutes. If after 5 minutes it's not showing, then you would want to reach out to your liaison. But it's usually like a minute or less, but depending on how many people are in there at that time, sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
And the only other thing I would add here too is for the customization. I think, Rachel, you said it up front, but one of the biggest things that we at HQ get questions about come Wreath Day or the days leading up to Wreath Day is, where can I find local information? And oftentimes I know I get calls and I'll go onto your pages and try and find information. And then if I can't find it, I'll call a liaison to try and get more information. So just keep in mind that, this is a lifeline for people who are wanting to participate in some way. So the more information and the more you can share about what's different and unique about what you're doing, the more likelihood you're going to have people come out and be able to help out because they know where and when to go, and they can see images from last year or see, what's involved. Like you can see a picture right here, even a toddler can do it. I mean, people don't know if they've never been. So it's small things like that I think really they just need to understand. So the more you can put in here, and you really actually can customize it quite a bit, which is, I think a lot of people don't realize.
Patrick, you had a question?
Yes. Last week I noticed when I was in the libraries part, actually every veteran that's buried there their photo is on there.
Not all of them.
But a good share of them. Is that a recommendation to, maybe post them every once in a while or something? Or what's your recommendation with that?
So they were on your locations page?
Yes.
I mean, you could. I mean, it's just another way to kind of like reach out to the community and help them connect with the veterans that are there and kind of make it a little bit more personal.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be the people posting their own veterans picture that's there? Like I would post my son's picture on that page as a memorial.
Yeah. So that's probably, if you guys did not upload them, it's very well could be people who've added them as a part. Like we did a big push for Memorial Day where people sponsored wreaths and they did them in memory of, and so that could be what's that. But yeah, I mean, definitely, it's a good opportunity to be able to like recognize the veterans that are there in your local cemetery.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was really amazing that was in there and that we can access that. So thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Any other questions? I do want to kind of, Rachel, can you go back to the card one again? The little section. I think these are really overlooked. So I really kind of want to point them out to you guys. So these cards that are used, like they're seen in many places on our website. And the more, if there's just a stock photo, they're more likely to be overlooked. So you really want to take the time and add a photo to these that makes them stand out from all the other photos. Also, for some of our fundraising groups on here that support multiple cemeteries, which we have a lot that do, you want to make sure that it's very important to go on and change your the text in this section, because if you support 5 cemeteries, it is only going to show your default cemetery in that section. So then your card underneath Indian Town Gap National Cemetery, if your default cemetery is Arlington, it's going to say, you know, that you support Arlington National Cemetery. And then that causes problems for the location page that it's showing on. So you can use something as, you know, simple as cover supports multiple cemeteries, or you can list the cemeteries out. You can get with your liaison, we can help you with the wording on that. But that's just something that's, you know, really important as far as just making sure that everyone, you know, has a clear understanding of what your group is doing, and just taking advantage of, you know, making your group or your location stand out from some of the other ones.
So so to be clear, the cards, so if I have a location page, all the cards that show up are all the groups that support my location?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then from the group pages, it would show like the locations. There's also some other pages on our website where it, different links, but they kind of pop up throughout, like locations we support or wherever. But they kind of, anytime that there's like a small little section, that's where that's going to pull up. That's what it's going to pull up. And when you go through your customization to-dos, it really lists out all the sections of where they are, and it will show you where they would go onto the website. So it can seem a little overwhelming at first because some of the wording, it's like, okay, this seems like a lot. But it really kind of takes you step through step, and you can't really break it. If you do, we can usually fix it. If you know, like I said, if you take out some wild cards, or if you go and you upload something and it looks really funky and everything's thrown off, that's when you just call your liaison, and we can go in, we can revert that back for you and get that fixed. So, you know, just go in and play around with it and try, you know, make it your own. And if you need help, just give us a call. All right, Rachel, you want to go back down to the end?
Sure.
All right, Rachel's driving the screen share tonight. Okay, so we've talked a lot about, you know, using social media to gain supporters. And so we just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about some of the best ways to interact with your audience on social media. So when engaging on social media, we want you to try to remember a SCORE. So that's safe topics and language, which is, you know, use your dinner party rule, no politics, religion, that kind of thing. Those topics, as in, you know, right now there's so many things that are, you know, can get heated really quick right now on any social media pages. And, you know, it's really best to just not even bring it up. If you see a comment on there, you know, feel free, if it gets out of hand, you know, hide that on your page or mute that comment, or, you know, you don't have to leave that on there if it's going to be something that's going to continue to kind of stir up issues. The next is caring phrases. So find room to show that the concerns have been heard. Sometimes people just want to get they're upset about something. They just kind of want to vent, and you just let them know that, you know, try to understand where they're coming from. You know, I can understand that frustration, and then leave it at that. You know, we don't need to defend everything, and sometimes it's just best to hear them out and then let it go. And then opportunity to convert. So sometimes haters become our biggest advocates. By listening and providing a human point of contact, we can shift that dynamic. And we have seen that time and time again. People, sometimes they just get upset because they don't understand. They get mad. And I know most of you location coordinators have probably been in this same situation where someone comes up after the wreaths have been placed and they are upset because, well, why didn't my loved one get a wreath? Do you not care about my veteran? And of course, we all here know that that's not at all what it is, because we wouldn't be doing what we do if we didn't care about the veterans. So it's an education. So, you know, let's take time, let's explain the program. And, well, you know, these veterans they receive a wreath because someone sponsored this wreath for them, or someone came to the ceremony and they placed this wreath for them. You know, did you sponsor a wreath? Let me tell you how you can sponsor a wreath. Did you come to the ceremony? Let me tell you how you can make sure you're here for the ceremony next year. And a lot of times you gain a supporter by just taking that time. Instead of getting defensive, just take time and talk to them about the program and what we do and how it works. So the next is reach out for support. When in doubt, contact Amber.
Call me.
Yeah. You can reach out to any of your liaisons, but if something is like really, you're not sure, of how to handle it. Sometimes it's best to just, call us and say, hey, how should I proceed with this? We're kind of used to dealing with a wide variety of stuff that may come up. So just reach out to us and we're here to help. And last is evaluate the need to engage. So some individuals and situations are better just left alone or addressed after taking some time to cool off. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Just, sometimes you just got to give it a few minutes, come back the next day. If it's still there and you feel like you really need to address it, maybe even take it, off the public page and private message them and say, hey, what's going on? What can I do to like change this, how this was for you?
Yeah, and I'm going to just reiterate some of this for the group, just to keep in mind that, we're talking about Wreaths Across America branded pages, and it's important to state the difference. Obviously, everyone as individuals, we all have our personal feelings and about life and the things we like and the things we are passionate about, and nobody here is asking anybody to change who they are. However, when you're using anything with the Wreaths Across America brand, it's very important to keep in mind that, we are not a political organization, we're not a religious organization. And it's important to be open to all people, and you have supporters on both sides of the aisle of different race and ethnicity and religions. And so it's important to just not even get into those types of things. And it's very, very difficult to do, especially in an election year. But we really encourage you and ask that you do not engage. And you're going to have people who are naturally going to do that. You'll see on our official page, we could post something as simple as a quote from a person, maybe a past president, or which actually we don't even do anymore, that could be taken completely out of context very quickly. And so it's just really best to not put yourself in that position, because it can divide your following very quickly. The other thing to keep in mind across the board with anything socially is that usually when people get upset, it's because this is a very emotional thing that we're doing. Wreaths Across America is what it is because of the emotion that people have and the passion that people have for this mission. And they're probably participating because they have a loved one, or it's a personal connection for them in some way. So same as if they get to a cemetery and there's not a wreath for their loved one, or they might go to social media, because these days social media is the fastest way to get people to pay attention. Because you have people like on our team who are frantically just making sure everyone's happy and trying to keep everybody, from getting upset. And so, just being able to take those people offline, maybe send a direct message and really understand what they're upset about, and explain, to Julie's point, really explain the converting. Some of our biggest fans today did not start out that way. And that is a fact. And usually it's just an opportunity to educate somebody. So if you can just kind of keep that in mind, and if you need any help with social media for your Wreaths Across America page, please don't hesitate to reach out. We have team members, Samantha Gatcombe on our team. She is basically 100% dedicated to locations and groups, and she's very good and very fast. She can help you with custom graphics. She can help you with content calendar, anything that you need to really understand how to utilize your social media tools better. And that's just an extension of your customization page, which is part of the reason why we included it in this presentation, because if you're going to make the effort to customize your page, you can also then take that information and share it on your social media channels, because people they're going to look at your website and they're going to look at your social media page or Facebook page. That's where people are going to go for information. So if you're making sure that you're consistent with the messaging on in both those places, you have a 200% chance of getting the right information out. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're doing the customization of your page. Make sure that information is getting shared on your social media channels as well.
And if you have Wreaths Across America Facebook pages for your groups or your location, or any type of social media page, if you let us know, if if you're not comfortable to putting it in adding it to your Wreaths Across America page, you can reach out to your liaison. We can help you put that on there, like the one that we showed in the example earlier. It's just a way to help kind of connect all your people. And, you know, sometimes I know when we get ready right before the ceremony, if there's, you know, rain delays or something like that, it's a lot easier and quicker to update that on Facebook if you have a Facebook event or something. So if you have those pages, just make sure you either put them on your Wreaths Across America page or let us know and we can help you put those on there as well. So next month we are going to be splitting up the webinar. We're going to do one just for locations and one for groups. So that way we can really kind of, for the groups, we can talk about the fundraising piece, really kind of, you know, getting going into that. And then for locations, we'll talk about kind of the planning around COVID and how, you know, we're going to move forward, making sure that these veterans are honored regardless of what may come up. So that information as far as like time and date is still being finalized because we, you know, because we are splitting that up, but we will, sorry, I can't talk. We will send something out as soon as we have that finalized and let you guys know. So just kind of keep an eye out for that.
You know what,
Patrick,
you just brought up something. Two things I want to ask. One is if we could get Sam to do a graphic that we can post on our Facebook pages that say, hey, we're happening no matter what this year. You know, graphics always tell the story a lot better than just words, right? So that could be, if we could get her to do that.
Yep, that's actually going to be part of the August messaging guide, but I can have her send it to you earlier. But yeah, it's going to be in the this month's messaging guide. Okay,
perfect. The second thing is I've been talking to a lot of people lately who are location leaders and group fundraising group leaders who are really uncertain about what they are going to be able to accomplish this year as far as Wreaths sponsorships. And I just want to put it out there that I did a Facebook birthday fundraiser, and I expected maybe to have about $500 of worth of money donated to my cause. And right now, I think I sit right at $2,483.50 or something ridiculous like that. I severely underestimated my friends and family, I think. But the point is that we think that people might not have money to donate to Wreaths Across America or sponsor Wreaths with Wreaths Across America this year. But we have to get outside of our own heads because that's our thinking. It may not be their thinking. And what I learned was it is my responsibility to continue to ask people, even the people that I haven't ever asked before. And it's their responsibility to tell me yes or no. So I can't take that choice away from them. I have to continue to give them that choice. And I just wanted to offer that to anybody that might be thinking, oh my gosh, what's it going to be like this year? There's not a reason why it doesn't have to be the same as it was last year. Unless we behave that way. So suck it up, Buttercup, and let's get out there and get some re-sponsored.
I agree, Brenda. Hi, everyone. This is Renee. I want to just say I've seen that. Congratulations, Brenda. But, you know, use this time. People are looking for an engagement opportunity to come together and do something wonderful for their communities or their employees or their families. And I think that's going to be key this year is just to stay engaged. And, you know, with that, you know, people are struggling and whatnot, but you look for a day's event to go to the movies, you're spending more than $15. You can come out for $15 and really be a part of something that bigger than yourself. And I have talked to a lot of different companies that, you know, just trying to talk, you know, see where they're at. And that is the key. That's engagement. Come together. And you know what? It doesn't always need to be $15 because if they're coming and it's tight, money is tight, just say, come on out. Come experience it. Because guess what? Next year, they're going to have $15.
I think we had 2 questions. Doug, did you have a question?
Well, I'm actually getting ready to start next week a program. We've all had flamingos in our front yard or whatever, and we're doing a Flag a Friend program. It's 10 small American flags, but in the packet is the Wreaths Across America application for them to send in for wreaths. And just putting those in people's yards. I mean, I live in a town of 3,500 people, but I've already had people asking to have them put in their yards, A, to show the support, but B, to also spread the word about just that $15. So as she just said, don't cut your people short. You'll be amazed when people start seeing those flags, how willing they'll be to find that $15. I mean, it's 2 cups of Starbucks coffee, for crying out loud. So, you know, it's not a major deal to a lot of folks.
I love that, Doug. That's a cool fundraiser.
Yeah, that is cool. Thanks for sharing that. And Patrick, I think, did you have another question?
Yeah, I was thinking last week that I thought it would be good on our page to do a Facebook Live to, you know, maybe we ordered the wreaths masks, WAA masks, and to just engage, you know, like you were talking about, just say, you know, we're planning Wreaths Across America, December 19th, and, you know, stay tuned for updates or things like that. But should I wait until you have roll this out for the COVID-19?
I mean, I don't think you necessarily need to. I mean, I would say go ahead and do it now, let people know, because I think the biggest thing right now is with everything going on, there's so much uncertainty. You know, our school's going to start. Are we going to have Wreath Day? You know, I think it's just letting them know, like, hey, this is going to happen. We're going to make sure that the veterans are honored. We're moving forward. And that way, because I think there's a lot of people that are just almost waiting to make donations because they're waiting to see what's going to happen. So I'd go ahead and get the word out. Yeah, so go ahead and get the word out and say, you know, hey, the Wreath Day may look different, but we are going to make sure that the veterans are honored, and the Wreaths Across America Day is going to happen. And then you can always do another one later once you kind of have the details worked out of how your ceremony will go.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And also I want to encourage all of you guys on here, you know, anyone who has a good fundraising idea, like how Doug was just talking about, like with flags, any of you guys that are doing stuff, these cool fundraisers right now, you know, please make sure you're sharing that on the Wreaths Across America Facebook sponsorship group page. And if you're not on there, get out to your liaison and we can make sure you have the link so you can join there. Because there's a lot of people who are just looking for ways of things that they can do. So share those ideas so that it may be something that someone else can do as well. And that's all I got. Any other questions? Anyone else have any suggestions or anything they want to share?
This is Stacy from Charlotte. I was wondering if we had any idea how to get additional POS packets, like if we've gotten the one that we are able to get for free. Is there a way that we can order more or an additional one?
Absolutely. You can use that same link if you still have it. If not, I think Megan or Trish, can one of you guys pop that in the chat? Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Stacey, you having a good result with those locally?
Well, I actually have to find the right places for them locally, but I also help in my hometown in Pennsylvania too. So I'm just trying to help coordinate with everything and make sure they have their location covered too. So.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, those are free. We have decided to just give those packets out, those bundles of 100 out for free. So reach out to either in the link below and fill out the form, or reach out to liaisons and we'll get them out to you.
That's awesome. Thanks. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah, and it's in the chat now, guys.
Anything else?
I want to say thank you, Rachel Worcester, for coming on even though you're sick and on vacation. We appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, thank you for not giving me a heart attack. We appreciate you. Now you can go take some, switch from
Some NyQuil
switch to
and pass
NyQuil.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael.
Go have a good evening. All right, guys. Well, if you guys need anything, you know where we're at. We're, contacts right on the page. You can reach out to us on Facebook. You can call your liaisons, and you can call me anytime. We're happy to help you guys.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
Thank you, guys.